Welcome to the Sleep Outpost. If you enjoy drifting off to sleep with stories like this, hit subscribe so you never miss a new one. Now, settle in, take a deep breath, and let tonight's journey begin. There's a place, far from the noise of the waking world, where the mountains rise so high that their peaks dissolve into the sky itself. And among those peaks, hidden above a sea of slow-rolling clouds, there stands a single tower, tall and slender, carved from pale stone that catches the last light of evening and holds it, the way a cupped hand might hold a candle flame. This tower is called the Spire of Ysolethis, and tonight, we are going to visit it together. But there is no hurry. There is never any hurry here, so let your body settle wherever it rests. Let your shoulders loosen, just a little. Let your breath come easily, as though the air itself were softer than usual, gentler, carrying with it the faintest scent of old paper and warm cedar. The path begins in a meadow that floats among the clouds. It is not a meadow you would find on any map, because it exists in that quiet space between sleeping and waking. A place that belongs only to those who are willing to slow down, to let the world grow still around them, to stop reaching for the next moment and simply rest inside this one. The grass here is silver green, each blade fine as thread, and it sways in a breeze so light you can barely feel it against your skin. The air is cool but not cold, the kind of coolness that comes just after sunset, when the earth has finished breathing out its warmth and now settles into the deep, comfortable stillness of evening. You walk through this meadow slowly. There is a path, not paved, not marked, but gently worn by the passage of those who have come this way before you. The grass bends softly underfoot, and with each step you can feel the ground giving, cushioned and forgiving, as though the earth here is gentler than the earth you are used to. Above you, the sky is the color of plums and lavender, fading at its edges into the deepest blue you have ever seen. There are stars beginning to appear, not all at once, but one by one, like distant lanterns being lit in the windows of a house you are slowly approaching. Each one seems to pulse with a faint, slow rhythm, as though the stars themselves are breathing. Let your own breath follow that rhythm if you like. In, slowly, and out, even more slowly. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be, only this meadow, this sky, this gentle path beneath your feet. As you walk, you begin to notice small things. A cluster of pale flowers growing beside the path, their petals translucent, catching starlight and holding it the way dew holds the morning. A moth drifting past on wings the color of moonstone, moving so slowly it seems to float rather than fly. The sound of wind chimes, very far away, almost too faint to hear, their notes arriving and departing like thoughts you cannot quite remember. The clouds that surround this meadow are vast and soft, rising like hills of white wool on every side. They glow faintly from within, lit by the last traces of sunset, and they move so slowly that you might watch for an hour and barely notice them changing. They are patient things, these clouds. They have nowhere to be. They simply drift and soften and drift again. And there ahead of you, rising from the far edge of the meadow where the cloud floor meets the open sky, is the Spire of Ysolethis. It is taller than you expected, impossibly tall, its upper reaches disappearing into a crown of stars. But it does not feel imposing. It feels, instead, like something that has been waiting for you, something old and kind and quietly glad that you have come. The stone of the tower is pale, the color of cream or old parchment or the inside of a seashell, and it seems to shimmer faintly, as though remembering the thousands of sunsets it has witnessed. Narrow windows spiral up its face, each one glowing with the warm amber light of candles or oil lamps, and the sight of them fills you with a feeling you might not have a word for, something between comfort and wonder, between homecoming and discovery. You are almost there now. The meadow narrows, the grass growing shorter, the ground firmer, and the base of the tower rises before you like the trunk of an ancient tree. There is a door, arched, dark wood, iron-banded, and it stands open, just slightly, as though someone inside has left it ajar for you. A warm glow spills through the gap, and with it comes the smell of beeswax and aged paper and something sweet and herbal that you cannot quite name. Take one more slow breath. Feel how calm your body has become. Feel how the world outside this moment has grown quiet, distant, unimportant. And when you are ready, only when you are ready, step through the door. The door swings inward at your lightest touch, and you step across the threshold into a warmth that wraps around you like a blanket drawn up to your chin. The entrance hall of the spire is round, as you might expect from a tower, and its walls curve away from you in a gentle embrace. The stone here is the same pale cream as the outside, but inside, it has been worn smooth by centuries of hands brushing against it, of cloaks trailing along its surface, of lantern light polishing it to a gentle glow. The floor beneath your feet is dark stone, not cold, but pleasantly cool, the way river stones feel in the shade, and set into it in a spiraling pattern are small tiles of deep blue and burnished gold. They catch the light and throw it back in soft flickers, like the surface of a pond touched by fireflies. You notice that you can feel the tiles through whatever you are wearing on your feet, smooth and rounded, like stepping on something that has been loved into softness. Let your breathing settle even deeper now. Let each exhale carry away a little more of whatever you were holding before you came here. The air inside the spire is warmer than the meadow, and it carries new scents, the rich, deep smell of leather-bound books, the clean sweetness of dried lavender, the faint smokiness of a fire that has burned down to its slowest, gentlest embers. Along the curved walls, there are shelves, not the orderly shelves of a library, but shelves that seem to have grown from the stone itself, curving and branching like the limbs of a tree. And on these shelves, arranged with the kind of care that speaks of deep affection, are books. Hundreds of them. Thousands, perhaps. Their spines are every color you can imagine and some you cannot: deep burgundy, forest green, the blue of midnight, the gold of autumn afternoons. Some are large and heavy, their covers thick as planks of oak. Others are small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, bound in silk the color of moth wings. And the pages, you can hear the pages. Not the sound of someone reading or turning them, but a softer sound, a quieter one. It is the sound of pages breathing. A gentle rustling, barely louder than silence, as though the books are dreaming, their stories stirring inside them the way seeds stir beneath winter soil. It is a sound that feels like it belongs to this place, and to this place alone. In the center of the entrance hall, there is a table round, carved from dark wood, polished until it gleams. On the table sits a single candle in a holder of wrought iron, and the flame of this candle does not flicker. It burns steady and still, a perfect golden teardrop of light, and its glow reaches just far enough to illuminate the table and the chair beside it and the book that lies open there. The book is large, its pages thick and creamy, and the ink upon them is not black but deep indigo, the color of a sky that has just finished its sunset. The writing is beautiful, flowing, unhurried, each letter formed with the kind of patience that can only come from someone who has no deadline, no obligation, no pressure at all. You lean closer and see that the words seem to shimmer, as though they were written not with ordinary ink but with something luminous, something that carries its own quiet light. You cannot quite read the words. They are in a language older than any you know, a language that seems to be made not of letters but of feelings, the feeling of warmth, the feeling of safety, the feeling of being exactly where you belong. And yet, as your eyes move across the page, you understand something of what is written there. Not the words themselves, but their meaning, their intention. And what they say is this: welcome, you are expected, you are wanted, rest. There is a staircase at the far side of the hall, spiraling upward along the inner wall of the tower. The steps are stone, worn smooth in their centers by the passage of countless feet, and each step is shallow and wide, inviting you to climb slowly, to take your time, to let each step be its own small journey. A banister of dark wood follows the staircase upward, its surface warm beneath your hand, and at intervals along the wall, small lanterns hang from iron hooks, each one casting a pool of golden light that spills across the steps like honey poured from a jar. You begin to climb. The staircase curves gently to the left, following the shape of the tower, and with each step you feel yourself rising not with effort, but with the easy, effortless sensation of a leaf carried upward on a warm current of air. The sound of the breathing pages follows you, growing softer as you climb, replaced gradually by another sound, the low, resonant hum of the tower itself, a vibration so deep and so steady that you feel it more than hear it. It is the sound of age and patience and peace. Let your body grow heavier now. Let your muscles soften. You are safe here, on this spiraling staircase, rising through the warm heart of the spire. There is nothing above you but candlelight and quietness and the gentle hum of ancient stone. The staircase opens onto the second floor, and you step into a room that takes your breath away, not with grandeur, but with tenderness. This is the library of unfinished dreams, and it is perhaps the most beautiful room you have ever entered. It is circular, like the entrance hall below, but larger, and its ceiling is higher, high enough that the upper reaches disappear into a gentle darkness, like the canopy of a forest at dusk. The walls are lined entirely with bookshelves, climbing from floor to ceiling, and every shelf is filled. But the books here are different from the ones below. These books glow. Not brightly, nothing in this tower is ever bright. But softly, each one emanating a faint light from within its covers, as though a candle were burning inside every binding. The colors are gentle, amber and rose and soft violet, seafoam and pale gold and the palest possible blue. Together, they fill the room with a light that has no source and no direction, a light that simply exists, the way warmth exists inside a nest. Breathe slowly now. Let each breath draw in this light, this warmth, this ancient gentleness. You are in a place where dreams are kept, not the wild, vivid dreams of restless nights, but the other kind. The slow dreams, the deep ones. The ones that feel like sinking into warm water, like being held, like drifting through a sky that goes on forever. In the center of the room, there is a reading chair, enormous, upholstered in velvet the color of twilight, its cushions so deep and so soft that sitting in it would feel like being cradled by the evening itself. A footrest sits before it, and beside it a small table holds a cup of something warm. You can see the steam rising from it in slow, lazy spirals. The scent reaches you, chamomile and honey, and something deeper, something like the smell of rain on warm stone. Around the room, scattered among the shelves, are other signs of habitation. A pair of spectacles, their lenses round and gold-rimmed, resting on a stack of papers. A quill pen lying across an open inkwell, its feather iridescent, catching colors that shift as you look at them, green to blue to violet. A shawl draped over the back of a second chair, knitted from yarn so fine it might be spider silk, the color of moonlight on snow. This is the room of the Inkweaver. You have not met her yet, but you can feel her presence in every detail, in the careful arrangement of the books, in the warmth of the candles, in the cup of tea left steaming as though she stepped away only a moment ago and will return at any moment. And this feeling, the feeling of being in someone's home, of being welcomed into their most private and beloved space, fills you with a peace so deep it is almost physical. You can feel it in your chest, in the slowing of your heartbeat, in the heaviness of your eyelids. Let your eyes grow heavy now. Let them close if they wish. You do not need to see this room to be in it. You can feel it all around you, the warmth, the glow, the gentle rustling of dreaming books. There are small details everywhere you look. On the nearest shelf, a book bound in silk, the color of dried roses, seems to pulse with a light that matches the rhythm of your breathing. Beside it, a volume covered in something that looks like velvet, deep green, with tiny silver stars embroidered on its spine, leans against its neighbor as though resting. The books here are not organized by author or subject. They are organized by feeling. One shelf holds books that glow amber, the dreams of autumn, of harvest, of warmth beside a fire. Another holds books that shimmer with pale blue light, The dreams of still water, of winter mornings, of silence. You reach out and touch one. The cover is warm beneath your fingers, not the warmth of something heated, but the warmth of something alive. And as your fingers rest on it, you feel something pass through you, faint as a whisper, the fragment of a dream. You see, just for a moment, a field of wildflowers under a summer sky, the petals moving in a breeze you cannot feel but can somehow remember. Then it fades, gently, like a stone sinking into still water, leaving only a feeling of sweetness behind. These are the unfinished dreams. The dreams that began but were never completed, interrupted by alarm clocks, by restless turning, by the thousand small intrusions of the waking world. They have found their way here, to this library, where they wait in patient silence for someone to weave them whole again. And that someone is the Inkweaver. You look toward the far side of the room, where another staircase spirals upward, and you feel a gentle pull, not urgency, nothing as sharp as that, but a quiet invitation, like a hand extended in the dark. Shall we go higher? Shall we climb a little further into the sky? There is no hurry. Take one more breath. Feel the velvet chair you have not sat in. Feel the warmth of the cup you have not tasted. Carry them with you as you cross the room and place your hand on the banister once more. The staircase between the third and fourth floors of the spire is different from the one below. Here, the walls are not bare stone but are covered every surface, from floor to ceiling, in writing. Words flow across the stone like water, curving around the spiral of the staircase, climbing the walls, pooling in the corners of each step. The ink is alive. It moves slowly, the way honey moves when poured, and the words rearrange themselves as you watch, drifting apart and coming together again in new combinations, new phrases, new fragments of meaning. Let your breathing become the slowest, deepest breathing you have done all day. Let each inhale arrive like a wave rolling gently onto shore, and each exhale depart like that same wave drawing back into the sea. There is a rhythm here in the spire, a rhythm older than words, and your body is beginning to find it. The writing on the walls whispers. You cannot hear the words clearly, they are too soft for that, too blended together, but you can hear the sound of them, and it is the most soothing sound imaginable. It is the sound of a voice reading aloud in the next room, the words indistinct but the tone unmistakable. Calm, measured, unhurried, full of the quiet confidence of someone who has all the time in the world. It is the sound of being read to as a child. The sound of falling asleep to a story you already know by heart. The ink on the walls glows faintly, not with the golden light of candles, but with a cooler light like moonlight filtered through water. As you climb, you notice that the writing is not random. There are patterns. Certain words appear again and again: rest, softly, slowly, dream, peace, and they seem to pulse with a faint luminescence each time you pass them, as though the walls are responding to your presence, acknowledging you, welcoming you. The staircase opens into a corridor short, perhaps 20 steps from one end to the other, with a high, vaulted ceiling. The corridor is lined on both sides with tall, narrow alcoves, and in each alcove stands a glass vessel. The vessels are beautiful, hand-blown, their glass swirled with color like the inside of a marble, and each one contains something luminous. Not a flame, exactly. Something more like a captured piece of twilight. Each vessel holds a different shade. One the warm peach of a summer sunset, another the deep violet of the sky just before the stars appear, another the soft silver of moonlight on fresh snow. These are the inks, the Inkweaver's inks, with which she writes the dreams back into being. They are not made from pigment or dye, but from light itself, light gathered from the gentlest moments of the day, from the quietest hours of the night, and distilled into liquid form. Each ink carries not just a color, but a feeling. The peach-colored ink holds the feeling of a warm evening spent with someone you love. The violet ink holds the feeling of standing alone under a vast sky and realizing that you are perfectly, beautifully small. The silver ink holds the feeling of silence, not empty silence, but full silence, the kind that wraps around you like a cloak. You pause in the corridor, feeling the presence of these inks around you. The air here is thick with feeling, not heavy, not oppressive, but rich, like the air in a garden after rain. Each breath brings you something, a flicker of warmth, a wash of calm, a moment of that particular peace that comes only when you have stopped trying to be anywhere other than where you are. Let your body feel that now. Let your arms grow heavy. Let your hands relax, your fingers uncurl. Let the weight of the day, all of it, every thought, every task, every unfinished thing, slide off you the way water slides off stone. You do not need to carry any of it here. At the far end of the corridor, there is a door. It is smaller than the one at the base of the tower, and it is not made of wood but of something that looks like frosted glass, etched with designs so fine they seem to have been drawn with a single hair. The designs are of feathers and clouds and slow-moving rivers and the closed eyes of sleeping faces. Through the glass, you can see a warm light, and you can hear, just barely, the sound of someone writing. The soft scratch of a nib on paper. The quiet dip of a pen into ink. The sound of a page being turned, slowly, with great care. You reach out and press your palm to the door, and it opens without resistance, swinging inward on silent hinges. The warmth that flows through is like stepping into a bath, gentle, enveloping, complete. Beyond the door is the Inkweaver Study. And standing at her desk, her back to you, her silver hair catching the candlelight like threads of woven moonlight, is the Inkweaver herself. She turns as you enter, and her face is the kindest face you have ever seen. It is the face of someone who has lived a very long time and has spent every one of those years being gentle. Her eyes are the color of dark honey, warm, deep, luminous, and they crinkle at the corners when she sees you, the way eyes crinkle when someone is genuinely glad. Her smile is small and soft, the kind of smile that does not need to be wide to be felt. "Ah," she says, "there you are." Her voice is low and warm, like the hum of the tower itself, and it fills the room the way candlelight fills a room, not all at once, but gradually, reaching into every corner, softening every shadow. She does not ask your name. She does not need to. She has been expecting you, the way the evening expects the stars, the way the shore expects the tide. It is not a surprise. It is a completion. Take a slow breath in. Hold it for just a moment, a heartbeat, no more, and then let it go. Let it carry with it the last threads of tension you may still be holding, the last faint echoes of the day. Here, in the Inkweaver Study, there is nothing to hold onto and nothing to let go of. There is only this, warmth and candlelight and the quiet presence of someone who asks nothing of you. The study is the most beautiful room in the tower. It is round, like all the rooms of the spire, but here the walls are draped in tapestries woven from what appears to be starlight, shimmering fabrics in silver and deep blue and the softest possible gold, shifting gently as though stirred by a breath you cannot feel. The tapestries depict scenes of sleeping. A child curled in a hammock beneath summer trees, a cat stretched across a windowsill in a patch of afternoon sun, a village at night with every window dark and every chimney trailing a thin line of smoke into a sky thick with stars. The ceiling above is open. Not open to the weather, there is glass there, clear and perfect, but through it you can see the sky, and the sky is extraordinary. The stars here are closer than you have ever seen them, and they are not the cold, distant stars of the waking world. These stars are warm. They pulse slowly, like breathing. Some are golden, some are silver blue, some are the faintest pink, and together they fill the glass ceiling with a light that is softer than moonlight, softer than candlelight, softer even than the glow of the dreaming books. The Inkweaver's desk sits beneath this window of stars. It is large, made of dark, ancient wood that has been polished by years of use until it gleams like water. Its surface is covered, but not cluttered with the tools of her work. Bottles of ink in every shade you saw in the corridor, and many more besides. A green like the first shoots of spring, a brown like the smell of baking bread, a white that shimmers like the surface of milk in moonlight. There are pens, dozens of them, each one different, their nibs fine as eyelashes, their handles carved from bone or ivory or a pale, translucent stone. And there are manuscripts. Stacks of them, pages thick with writing, the ink still faintly luminous. These are the dreams she has restored, the unfinished dreams gathered from the library below, carried up to this desk, and woven back into wholeness by her patient, steady hand. "Would you like to sit?" she asks, and she gestures to a chair beside the desk, a chair that was not there a moment ago, or perhaps was always there and you simply did not notice it. It is deeply cushioned, upholstered in fabric the color of a cloud at sunrise, and when you sink into it, you feel the most extraordinary thing. You feel held. Not by the chair, by something larger, something gentler, something that has no name but that you have felt before, in the best moments of sleep, in the deepest moments of peace. The Inkweaver settles into her own chair, across the desk from you, and picks up a pen. She dips it into a bottle of ink, the deep indigo you saw on the pages in the entrance hall, and begins to write. "I will work while you rest," she says, and her voice is so soft now that it is almost indistinguishable from silence. "You need do nothing. Only breathe, only be here, only let the quiet find you." And so you sit, and she writes, and the room holds you both in its gentle, starlit embrace. The sound of the pen is the softest sound in the world. It is the sound of a leaf touching the surface of still water. It is the sound of snow falling on snow. It moves across the page with a rhythm that is slow and steady, like the beating of a heart at rest, and each stroke leaves behind a trail of luminous ink that glows for a moment before settling into the page. Let your breathing match this rhythm now. Let each inhale arrive with the pen's downward stroke, and each exhale depart with the gentle lift of the nib from the paper. In and out, in and out. You are breathing with the dream as it is being written. You are part of it now. The Inkweaver works in silence. Her hand moves with the certainty of someone who has performed this task 10,000 times, and yet there is nothing mechanical about it. Each stroke is placed with love, with attention, with the quiet reverence of someone who understands that what she is doing matters. She is not simply writing words. She is weaving a dream back into being. She is taking something broken and making it whole. The ink flows from the pen in a continuous stream, never needing to be replenished. It is as though the pen draws its ink from the air itself, from the starlight above, from the slow breathing of the tower. And as the words appear on the page, something begins to happen in the room. The air grows warmer. The starlight above grows softer. The gentle hum of the tower deepens, becomes richer, takes on the quality of a lullaby hummed under someone's breath. And then you begin to see it. Above the page, in the air between the desk and the star-glass ceiling, shapes are forming. They are faint at first, wisps of light, like the first threads of mist rising from a lake at dawn, but they grow slowly more defined. You see the outline of a meadow, rendered in light and shadow. You see flowers bending in an unseen wind. You see a sky, not the sky above you, but another sky, the sky of the dream being written, and in that sky, slow clouds are moving, each one trailing streamers of golden light. This is what the Inkweaver does. She writes, and the dreams rise from the page like smoke from incense, like steam from a warm cup, like the memories that surface when you close your eyes and let your mind drift. The dream she is weaving now is not your dream. It belongs to someone else, someone far away, someone who fell asleep one night and began to dream of a meadow and golden clouds, only to be woken before the dream could finish. That unfinished dream found its way here, to the library of unfinished dreams, where it waited, patient and incomplete, until the Inkweaver could tend to it. And now she is tending to it, and you are watching. The meadow above the page grows more vivid. You can see individual blades of grass, each one catching light. You can see butterflies, pale blue, their wings edged in silver, moving among the flowers with the slow, purposeless grace of things that have nowhere to be. You can hear, very faintly, the sound of the wind that moves through this dream meadow, and it sounds like the gentlest sigh, the kind of breath you make just before falling asleep. Let your own body soften further now. Let your jaw unclench. Let the space behind your eyes grow dark and warm and quiet. You are watching something ancient and beautiful, the restoration of a dream, and it asks nothing of you except your presence. You do not need to understand it. You do not need to remember it. You only need to be here, in this chair, in this room, beneath these stars, while the Inkweaver's pen moves and the dream takes shape in the air above you. The vision of the meadow begins to expand. You see a path now, winding through the flowers, and at the far end of the path, a small cottage with a thatched roof and a door painted the color of sage. Smoke curls from the chimney, thin, lazy, unhurried. A cat sits on the doorstep, its eyes half closed, its tail curled around its paws. Everything in this dream is at rest. Everything is where it belongs. The Inkweaver pauses. She lifts her pen, looks at what she has written, and nods a small, satisfied nod, the kind you make when something fits. Then she reaches for a different ink, the pale gold, the one that holds the feeling of autumn afternoons, and begins again. The dream above shifts, the light warming, the sky deepening, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into your chair, deeper into the quiet, deeper into the gentle rhythm of the pen on the page. After a time, you are not sure how long, because time moves differently in the spire, the Inkweaver sets down her pen. She does not announce this. She simply stops, the way a river stops when it reaches a lake, flowing into stillness without resistance. "Come," she says, and her voice is barely a whisper now. "Let me show you something." She rises from her chair, and you rise from yours slowly, as though your body is made of something heavier than usual, something warm and dense and deeply comfortable. She leads you not to the staircase, but to a narrow door set into the wall of the study, half hidden behind one of the shimmering tapestries. The door opens onto a small, circular room, a gallery, she calls it, though it is more like a chapel, a place of quiet reverence. The walls of the gallery are lined with small niches, and in each niche sits a glass sphere. The spheres are the size of apples, and each one contains a tiny, perfect scene, a landscape, a room, a moment, rendered in exquisite miniature and glowing faintly from within. These are the finished dreams. The dreams that the Inkweaver has woven back to completion and sealed in glass, where they will wait until the dreamer is ready to receive them again. Breathe deeply now. Let each breath draw the stillness of this room into the deepest parts of you, into your chest, into your belly, into the quiet space behind your ribs where rest lives. You are so deep inside the spire now, so far from the waking world, that nothing can reach you here. No sound, no worry, no unfinished thought. Only this gallery, these small glass worlds, this gentle light. You lean close to one of the spheres, and inside it you see a beach at twilight. The sand is silver, the water dark and calm, and a single figure walks along the shore, leaving footprints that the tide slowly, lovingly erases. In another sphere, you see a forest in winter, trees draped in snow, the silence so complete you can almost feel it through the glass. In another, a library, not unlike this one, but smaller, cozier, where a fire burns low in a stone hearth and a book lies open on a table, its pages turning slowly of their own accord. Each sphere is a world entire. Each one holds a feeling, the feeling of the dream it contains, and as you move from niche to niche, those feelings wash over you in gentle waves. The contentment of the beach, the hush of the snowy forest, the warmth of the fireside library. They layer upon each other, building not toward intensity, but toward depth, the way the notes of a lullaby build toward sleep. The Inkweaver stands in the center of the gallery, watching you with those warm, dark honey eyes. She does not explain the spheres. She does not name the dreamers who will one day reclaim them. She simply lets you look, lets you feel, lets the gallery do what it was made to do, which is to remind you that dreams are precious things, small and fragile and infinitely worthy of care. Every dream matters, she says, and her voice is so quiet now that you feel it more than hear it, a vibration in your chest, a warmth in your throat. Every dream that was interrupted, every dream that faded too soon, every dream that was forgotten upon waking, they all come here, and I weave them whole again, so that when the dreamer is ready, the dream will be waiting. You look at the spheres, dozens of them, hundreds perhaps, each one glowing with its own inner light, and you feel something you have not felt in a long time. You feel that you are in the presence of something sacred. Not in a grand way, not with trumpets or thunder, but in the small, quiet way that sacred things are always encountered. In silence, in stillness, in the half-dark, with your heart open and your mind at rest. Let your mind rest now. Let the thoughts that have been circling grow quieter, slower, fainter. They are like the moth in the meadow, drifting, harmless, purposeless. Let them drift. Let them go. You do not need them here. The gallery is so still. The spheres glow. The Inkweaver breathes. Somewhere far below, the books in the library rustle in their sleep. And somewhere far above, the stars burn on, slow and patient, as they have always burned, as they will always burn. The Inkweaver leads you from the gallery through another door, and you find yourself in a room that you sense is near the very top of the spire. The ceiling here is entirely glass, a dome of clear crystal through which the stars pour their light in an unbroken flood, and the room itself is almost empty. Almost. In the center of the room stands a loom. It is unlike any loom you have seen before. Its frame is made from the same pale stone as the tower, carved into slender arches that support a web of threads so fine they are nearly invisible. The threads are not made from fiber or silk, but from light, actual threads of starlight, drawn down through the glass ceiling and woven into the frame of the loom, each strand shimmering with the slow pulse of the star it came from. Let your whole body be heavy now. Let it sink into whatever surface holds you, your bed, your pillow, the soft place where sleep is gathering. You have climbed so high through the spire. You have seen so many beautiful, gentle things. And now, here at the top, you have found the Inkweaver's most precious tool, the loom of star thread. This is where the deepest dreams are made, the Inkweaver whispers, and her voice is so faint now, so gentle, that it is like hearing someone speak from the far side of sleep. Not repaired, but made. New dreams, woven from starlight and silence for those who have gone too long without dreaming. She steps to the loom and runs her fingers across the threads. Where she touches them, they sing, not with a sound you hear with your ears, but with a resonance you feel in your bones. It is the most calming sensation imaginable, a vibration that moves through you the way warmth moves through water, slowly, completely, leaving no part of you untouched. The threads hum beneath her fingers, and as they hum, the air in the room begins to change. It grows thicker, softer, more luminous. You can feel the starlight on your skin, not as heat, not as cold, but as a gentle pressure, like being wrapped in something impossibly light. The stars above seem to draw closer, as though the glass ceiling has dissolved and you are standing in the open sky, surrounded by stars on every side, above and below and all around you, and each star is breathing, slow and steady, matching the rhythm of your own breath. Breathe, just breathe. In, slowly, deeply, and out, letting everything go. There is nothing above you but stars, nothing below you but starlight, nothing around you but the quiet hum of the loom and the gentle presence of the Inkweaver and the deep, encompassing peace of this room at the top of the world. The Inkweaver begins to weave. Her hands move through the threads of light with a grace that is almost liquid, drawing one strand over another, under another, through another, creating patterns that shift and change with each pass of her fingers. The fabric that forms on the loom is not cloth. It is more like captured sky, like a piece of evening folded into something you could hold. It shimmers with the colors of deep twilight, indigo and violet and the darkest possible blue, threaded through with veins of silver and the faintest blush of gold. You watch and you feel your eyelids growing heavy, not with tiredness, exactly with surrender. With the willingness to let go of wakefulness, to stop holding the day together, to release your grip on consciousness and let yourself fall gently, slowly, safely into the arms of sleep. The Inkweaver weaves, and the starlight hums, and the tower breathes around you, and the world grows softer and softer and softer, like a sound fading into the distance, like a light dimming at the edge of sight, like a thought dissolving before it can be finished. You are so close to sleep now, so close to that place where the waking world ends and the dreaming world begins. The boundary between them is thin here, thin as the threads of starlight, thin as the whisper of the Inkweaver's voice, thin as the space between one breath and the next. The fabric on the loom is finished. The Inkweaver lifts it free, gently, the way you would lift a sleeping child, and holds it up to the starlight. It shimmers. It breathes. It is alive the way all dreams are alive, with a life that does not need waking to sustain it. "This one," she says, and her voice is almost inaudible now, a sound at the very edge of hearing, "is for you." She brings the fabric to you, and as she drapes it across your shoulders, you feel something extraordinary. The weight of it is nothing less than nothing, and yet it wraps around you with a completeness that makes you feel as though you have been wrapped in sleep itself. The fabric settles against your skin, and where it touches, warmth spreads, a warmth that is not just physical but emotional, a warmth that says you are safe, you are loved, you are exactly where you are meant to be. Let go now, let go of everything. Let go of the room, the tower, the staircase, the meadow, the stars. Let go of the sound of my voice. Let go of the effort of listening. You do not need to follow the story any further. You do not need to know what happens next. The story will continue without you, the way the world continues while you sleep, turning gently on its axis, carrying you through the dark hours toward the light of morning. The Inkweaver guides you to a place near the window, not the desk, but a low couch that sits beneath the dome of stars, its cushions deep and soft, covered in fabric the same color as the dream cloth she has draped around you. You lie down, or perhaps you are already lying down, and have been all along, and the couch receives you the way the sea receives a stone, completely, without resistance, drawing you in and holding you there. Above you, the stars. Below you, the clouds. Around you, the warm stone of the spire and the faint, fading hum of the loom of starthread. The Inkweaver is nearby. You can feel her presence, steady and calm, like the presence of a lighthouse in fog, but she is no longer speaking. She has returned to her desk, to her pen, to the endless, patient work of weaving dreams back into wholeness. And you are drifting. Not moving, not in any direction you could name, but drifting the way clouds drift, the way leaves drift on still water, the way your mind drifts in the moments before sleep finds you. The stars above are so close now that they seem to surround you, and their light is warm, and their breathing is your breathing, and their silence is your silence. There is a dream waiting for you. You can feel it at the edge of your awareness, soft and formless like the first brushstroke on a blank canvas. It does not have a shape yet. It does not need one. It is simply there, a warmth, a color, a feeling, and as you drift closer to it, it begins to unfold around you, the way a flower unfolds in the first light of morning. Perhaps you will dream of a garden. Perhaps of a shore. Perhaps of a room you loved once, where the light came in just so, and the air smelled of something sweet, and you felt, for a moment, for an afternoon, for the space of a single breath, that everything in the world was exactly as it should be. Let the dream come. Do not reach for it. Do not try to shape it or name it or hold it. Simply let it arrive the way sleep arrives, not when you chase it, but when you stop chasing, when you stop trying, when you let your body be heavy and your mind be empty and your heart be still. You are so deeply at rest now, so deeply held. The Spire of Ysolethis stands around you like a cradle, and the stars burn above you like a canopy of light, and the Inkweaver writes her quiet words in the room beyond, her pen moving in the rhythm of sleep, in the rhythm of breathing, in the rhythm of the slow, eternal turning of the world. The night deepens. The stars move so slowly, so slowly across the glass ceiling above you, tracing paths that have been traced 1 billion times before and will be traced 1 billion times again. The spire is silent now, or almost silent. There is only the faintest hum, the tower's own heartbeat, slow and deep and steady. And beneath that, the softest possible whisper of the wind outside, moving through the clouds that surround the meadow far below. You are asleep, or you are nearly asleep, or you are in that place, that perfect, unboundaried place where it no longer matters which one you are. The dream has found you, and it holds you gently, the way the night holds the world, without effort, without force, simply by being vast enough and dark enough and warm enough to contain everything. The dream cloth on your shoulders has become indistinguishable from the air itself. It is everywhere and nowhere. It is the temperature of your skin. It is the weight of your eyelids. It is the depth of your breathing. It has woven itself into you, and you into it, and there is no seam between you and sleep, no edge, no boundary. Only this soft, continuous, luminous dark. Somewhere it does not matter where the Inkweaver is still writing. Her pen moves across the page in strokes so gentle they make no sound at all. The ink glows and fades like the breathing of the stars. She is writing a dream for someone who needs it. Perhaps it is still yours. Perhaps it is someone else's. It does not matter. What matters is the writing itself, the act of care, the act of patience, the act of taking something lost and weaving it back into being. The tower holds you. The night holds you. The clouds below are a sea of silver and white, and you are floating above them, held aloft by nothing more than starlight and stillness, and the ancient, gentle magic of a place where dreams are made whole. Let go of the last thread of wakefulness. Let it slip from your fingers the way a ribbon slips from a sleeping hand. You do not need it. The morning will find you when it is time. The sun will rise behind the mountains, and the clouds will turn gold, and the meadow of silver-green grass will catch the first light and hold it, the way it holds everything, gently, patiently, without grasping. But that is hours from now, hours and hours. And until then, there is only this. The night, the stars, the slow breathing of the spire, the whisper of ink on paper, the warmth of a dream wrapped around you like a blanket of woven light. Sleep now. Sleep and let the Inkweaver tend to the rest. She has been doing this for longer than anyone can remember, longer than the mountains have stood, longer than the stars have burned, longer than the clouds have drifted across the face of the sky. She will go on doing it long after this night has ended, long after this dream has faded into morning, long after you have woken and forgotten the shape of this room and the sound of her pen and the feeling of the chair beneath you. But you will remember something. Not the details, those will dissolve the way all dream details dissolve, like sugar in warm water, but the feeling of being here, the feeling of being held, the feeling of being in a place where everything is gentle and nothing is rushed and the only thing asked of you is to rest. That feeling will stay with you. It will be there when you wake. It will be there in the quiet moments between tasks, in the pauses between breaths, in the spaces between thoughts. And on the nights when sleep is slow to come, when your mind is full and your body is restless and the world feels too loud and too bright and too fast, on those nights, you will remember. Not the tower, not the loom, not the gallery of sleeping stars, but the feeling, the warmth, the peace. And it will be enough. The stars turn, the clouds drift, the Inkweaver writes, and you sleep deeply, peacefully, completely, held in the arms of the night, cradled in the oldest and most tender magic there is. The magic of a story told softly, in a warm room, while the world outside grows quiet and dark and still. Sleep well and dream.